everybody, and welcome to today's episode of DownStream Outdoors. Today on DownStream Outdoors, we're doing something a little bit different. There isn't a whole lot of educational value to what we're doing for the video purposes, but I tell you what, I have all three of my children out here today. Aaron's with me, and we're going to go do a little bit of wild caving, okay? A little bit of spelunky. What you see behind me here, this is called Tytoona Caves. Okay, Tytoona Caves, it's open to the public, it's free admission, but there is no guide service here. You have to be your own guide, okay? The actual caving process is pretty simple. All you need here is a flashlight and some good walking shoes, preferably waterproof, because there are some places that you get into a few inches of water. We're going to show you some footage from inside the cave, show you some of the beauty, and then we'll check right back with you at the end of this episode, and we'll recap what we saw in there.
Here was a neat little thing that I found. The water just seemed to kind of flow right out of the wall. It was pretty neat, and it'll just keep building like that and keep smoothing out. Everywhere you look, there's little holes, and you just try to see what's back in these holes everywhere. And it's just absolutely beautiful down inside of a cave. You'll see things down in there you don't really see anywhere else in nature. These stalactites, you know, who knows how long these stalactites on this little shelf here took to make. I would not be able to tell you personally. Everyone kind of commented that the dew on the walls, it just made it look like there was silver everywhere, and yeah, there was flecks of what looked like gold, and it was just absolutely beautiful. The kids had a really good time. Nice little close-up, some little stalactites there. Stalactites are the ones that hang down from the ceiling. Stalagmites are the ones that come up from the floor. Some of the natural formations you'll see are just absolutely amazing. The way the minerals have formed over the years. Some more little stalactites. You'll see some of them are hollow in the center. That's because somebody come along and touched them, and the oils on your fingers will actually kill a small stalactite like that. So it's best just to not to touch anything, you know, make as little of an impact as possible. This here is pretty neat. You can see how this here looks all like a nice fresh break. Well, that's one of the dangers of caving. There was a rock that broke off right there, and I'm actually standing. You can see that's old, that's new, okay? And then I'll pan down the camera here, and you can see that I'm actually standing on the big rock, and so are my children. We're standing on this big chunk of rock that fell from the ceiling. And that's one of the true dangers of caving, is falling rocks.
Well, everybody, that about does it for this episode. Like I said, I realized there wasn't a whole lot of educational value to what we did for you anyway. But for my children, and coming out here and doing this was a great educational opportunity for me to teach them a few things about caves and some of the stuff you find in caves. Now, I have explored wild caves on my own, full equipment, you know, just adults, no kids. So I'm fairly experienced at this already. This cave in particular, this here one, like I said in the opener, is open to the public, and they tell you straight up front, all you really need is a good flashlight. Now, me personally, I'll tell you, take your good flashlight, take two. You never know when your batteries are going to die, and you don't want to be 1,000 yards back in that dark where it is truly dark, like we showed you in the video, where if you turn off the lights, it is absolutely true dark inside a cave. You don't want to be in there with dead batteries in your flashlight. That's the biggest safety tip I can give you for a simple cave like this. Beyond that, don't go into wild caves unless you know it's something like this where others have been in, already explored, know it's safe, and tell you what guidelines and what kind of equipment you're going to need to go into that cave. You don't want to walk blindly into a cave and all of a sudden you fall down a cliff or you fall off some rocks and get hurt. Nobody knows where you're at and you don't know how to get back out. That is not safe, and that is not what we're about here at DownStream Outdoors. So anytime you think about going out, doing something with your kids, make sure it's something that you know you can do safely with your children, or even if you don't have children, with yourself. safety is #1 priority with us here at DownStream Outdoors. So that's just something to think about, and until next time, keep your line wet and out of the trees.